Well, hello, adventure seekers. Leo here. And I am not going to say where I'm at today. You'll just have to solve a series of clues to figure it out. Here's your first clue. How many of y'all guessed it? Alright, I'll quit goofing off. Alright. I have to ask you guys to excuse me for opening this video in my car. It's cold out and I don't have my coveralls on yet. So yeah, that's why I'm in the car. I am at Cabwaylingo State Forest right now. I mean, quit goofing off. Quit being lazy. You live with a little cold for a minute. All right, that's better. I am at Cabwaylingo State Forest, for those of you who don't recognize the sign. It's a state forest that's made on the confluence of 4 different counties: the Cabell County, Wayne, Logan County, and Mingo County. I'll get it right in a minute. Cabwaylingo. After the war, it was, kind of put the park together, kind of hopefully ease tensions, between this and that, you know what I'm saying. But anyhow, fast forward, the park was built, most of it back in the 30s, by the CCC. I don't know if how many of y'all have heard of Civilian Conservation Corps, if I remember right. And they came down, they built all kinds of really cool old cabins back in the 30s here. And Heather and I brought y'all to one of them. We stayed in one of them, made a video and showed it to you guys. I'm out here today, and I'm out on me a little adventure. I ain't going to the 100-year-old cabin this time. This time, I'm going tent camping way back on top of a mountain up a itty-bitty little dirt road in the Mustang, yeah. To a little place called Tick Ridge. It's a little campground. I think there's only about 6, 8, something like that, campsites in the place. Getting cold out there. Still got a few snow flurries flying. Leo ain't dressed for snow flurries. All right. Now, as I was saying, but I've got my tent and way more junk than you should ever put in a Mustang. Way more junk than a Mustang can even theoretically hold, but somehow it's in there. Trunk's full, back seat's full. There's barely room for Leah, but we made it. That's what matters. I just started up the hill. Sign said I have 2 miles of gravel road to go to get to the campground. I just thought I'd stop right here just for one quick second to show y'all something. When I was a little kid, this was the 4-H group camp. I came over here once when I was about 8 years old and stayed in that bunkhouse right there. I can remember going back up that way, having campfires up there at night. Well, I have made it to the top of the mountain, and the campground starts right over there, that big building. Now you can see, if you look, you can see the road going way down into the valley, back down to the valley where I was just at. I ran into the park ranger right about there. Now, one has this pavilion here with it, but it's right by the road. And y'all know how it is when you're camping. You like people, but you like them over there somewhere. You know what I mean? You like people just down that way. And check this out. Look at this. Now here's the building, the shed. That is site 1 right there, but I picked site 5 because it's back a little further. We came up last year Heather and I and a couple friends and stayed in one of the cabins and brought the UTV and went out for a ride. But it's just me this time. Just me in a tent. I see site number 5 right there. That looks like home. She said site 5 was their most popular one. Okay. I can live with this. I can definitely live with this. Nice big fire pit. Big fire pit back there. Picnic table. Nice level spot. Nice view right off the back. That'll work. Got to start. I got the ice shelter up, the ice tent, and got my floor down inside so far as I've made it. It is freaking windy up here on top of this mountain. I mean, it is not warm at all up here. Snowball. Hitching, I missed. Here, hit you with a snowball. I'm hitting y'all with snowballs. I'd quit being stupid. Probably not. Come on in, I'll give you the tour real quick. Well, I actually had to put a couple limbs on the skirt. Wind kept blowing in under it. You know how that is. It sucks having wind blowing up under your skirt. Ask any woman can tell you that. Any lady. I had to put a couple straps on here. Got my heat coming out right there. That's the exhaust from my diesel heater. Anyhow, I got this set up, and these they kind of pop out. It's like tension, you know, just is all that holds the thing up. Wind came howling this way. Pop that one in, pop that one in. Okay, we're going to need a couple straps. So I came out here and popped a couple on real quick. Welcome to my house. Get the other light on here. There we go. A little better. A little better. Got my TV area. I didn't have enough room this trip with all this junk. It's the thing about winter camping, you know, you have to have other things that you don't need, you know, when the weather's nice. You got 5 gallons of diesel fuel right there. You know, obviously the heater, battery to run it. Which, by the way, I was going to mention something. You know, the heating system and the electrical system and how you do this junk, you know, watching TV. If you have Wi-Fi or cell service, you know, you can just hotspot your TV to your phone and do it that way. I've got 1 bar of service here, so I'll be using, which end is it on? Yeah, a little thumb drive that I have in the TV with I don't know, 24, 25 movies, I think it is. Now the diesel heater, it's pretty simple. They old school tech. They've been around since I think World War II. You know, you just have diesel fuel and the battery runs the little, basically heats up the glow plug once it gets going. It uses very, very little power. It's a low drain device, you might say. I could run this with 5 gallons of diesel fuel and a full battery days, 4 or 5 days, something, you know, somewhere along those lines, something like that. It vents the exhaust gases outside and pulls in room air here, heats it and blows it out right here. I've got it set on 1 on the lowest setting, and it's 53 in here right now, which I've got on low because I'm still in coveralls. I'm, you know, in and out doing stuff, you know, and it's, like I said, blistering cold outside. But but anyway, just wanted to show y'all that. Now my workhorse, all right, here's my workhorse right here. Now this was sent to us. I wanted to mention this, by the way, too. I've been wanting to. Redodo, they sent us this battery a while back, and this is, like I said, this is my workhorse. You can see I'm running I've got a 2,000 watt inverter that they also sent me, matter of fact, right here. That's connected directly to the battery, and I'm running, you know, I'm gonna knock everything over. Little battery charger here for my GoPro batteries. That's what I just did, swap it out, like I said, speak of the devil. But got my phone, you know, hooked up on the same battery as well. But now this is a 100 amp hour 12.8 volt battery, and the cool thing about these is it's a lithium variant. Okay, the Life Peel 4, you know, however different people pronounce it. But anyway, they're really high quality battery, you know, for doing this kind of stuff. And the TV is a high drain device. The light bulb, I'm using an LED, but even, you know, an LED at 100 watts, you know, you're still pulling quite a bit, you know. Well, it's pulling 7 right now as is, and the TV is going to be another 40 or 50. So, you know, it's going to, you know, it would wipe out most batteries really fast, we'll put it that way. But this one here, I have enough to where I can run. I know for a fact, I've used this on several camping trips. If you look at some of the videos, you've seen it, you know, you've seen it in the videos probably. But I've used it on several, and it charges really fast. It lasts a long time, and I highly do recommend these batteries. You know, they're really good people to work with, and, you know, zero issues out of this thing. Zero issues. It charges really fast, and it lasts a long time. And you can also, there's an app. Yeah, imagine that. There's an app for that, right? Hang on 1 second. Look at that. Get my cable loose. Got my phone on charge too. 99%, 65 hours and 59 minutes. Now, let me get the TV fired up. It's an older TV, takes a minute. You know, you don't want to bring something, you know, good out here. But anyway, now see if you notice, that brought us up from 7 watts all the way up to 37. It'll vary, 37 to 40 is pretty average. There it is. Which I added, you know, the lighter, cigarette lighter, 12 volt plug, and then that way I can just use other stuff. I added that on the back end of it. Now, like I said, this was CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, and they did all kinds of masonry work. But look at some of these stones. Now, I've shown some of the old ruins on a video before. You know, here you can go back up by the playground, and there's just all kinds of them way back in there in the woods. All kinds of old stone ruins. Some of the prettiest masonry work you've ever seen. This is pretty, isn't it? Cut into different shapes. Some of them look like skulls. Those look like skulls. There's the men's outhouse. Those aren't fire pits. Those are firewood sheds. Those are bathrooms. There's the women's outhouse and the men's outhouse. Cool looking old building. You can tell it's been here a long time, can't you? But like I said, they've got several campgrounds. There's Spruce Creek. I can't think of the other one. I think there's 2. And then this primitive one here up on Tick Ridge. There's a Cabwaylingo trail system map. That's trails through the mountains. There's a couple black ones. Some of the woodwork, look at those tables. It was just amazing that they built. Look at those. It's really old, isn't it? Bet there's been a fire in there. I bet there's been a lot of fires built in there. But the old cabins, there's a whole bunch of them around here. They look like this, exactly like that, inside and outside. That's, you know, they're log cabins with, you know, concrete. You get that with campsite number 1 and all of this. The reason I didn't take 1 was because it's right by the trail. I'd rather be back in the corner. Remember, people that way? Wow, check out the acorns. Somebody been hiding them in there, ain't they? Somewhere around here there's a squirrel with an acorn fetish. They're supposed to hide them up in trees, not in fire pits. Supposed to hide them in hollowed out, you know, not holes, not pits. Kind of roam around a little bit, you know, cause bringing everything over here and putting it all up wasn't enough work. Now seriously, there's supposed to be an old graveyard up here somewhere. I think it was Wallace. See, there's something. Old ruins there. Maybe that was a campsite back in the day. You can see some more here and something else up there too. It's the first time I've been out through here. I see another one of them little shed things up there. I'm guessing this probably was campground at one time. I like this kind of stuff, you know, just old ruins. A ruined campground. It's a first. I've seen a lot of the old ruined buildings, but I didn't know there was half of a campground back up in here. There's another one. Those are definitely fire pits. Happened to stop for a second, got to that gas well right there. Wait a minute, where we at? On autopilot, where you at? Happened to look over, yeah, I'm probably like 3/4 of a mile from camp, is way out there. I had to go all the way back down this road. It turns, goes back out, follows the ridge line all the way back out through there to camp. Like a hound dog, you know, just start wandering the woods. Next thing you know, you look up and you're 2 counties over. It's a good day for it though. It's a good day for it. Feel like you're on top of the world up here. Which I guess, you know, for here you are. Try not to get too twisted up, you know. Keep your sense of direction, which way you came. Don't want to get lost up here in southern West Virginia on some random mountaintop in an old, you know, campground. Which the part I'm staying in, you know, it's not abandoned, but the rest of it is. Very cool to look at though, isn't it? That view. Yep, outhouses. This place is huge. I mean, right now, there's what? Less than 10 campsites in the Tick Ridge campground. But you can see there's dozens and dozens and dozens of places where that used to be campsites. You know, the outhouses and little sheds and fire pits and all kinds of stuff just laying around in the woods. There's one there, matter of fact, right there. Good day for a walk though. Well, I got almost back to camp. It's right down there, and I was going to show 100-year-old outhouses, and my battery died. Figures, don't it? That's okay. We went and got another battery and came back. I figure I've already hiked a couple miles. What's another 100 yards? We're going to show this 100-year-old outhouse one way or the other. Stupid GoPro. Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. Can you imagine? Blistered cold. This is your bathroom. This is actually a nice one. This is a vented one. The pipe going up. This one's vented. Keeps the smell out of here. You can't smell anything inside there. The regular ones don't have that. You can smell. This is a nice one though, as far as outhouses go. It's just really, 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 really old, ain't it? Imagine how many butts have been on there. Heather probably won't put that in the video. Just saying. Oh, Lord. All right, let's go back. Ain't got far to go. It's right down there. Well, guess what? It turns out that one bar of cell service, that's all I've got. It's one bar. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. One bar. Excellent cell service. Excellent. The TV says it's excellent. And I am streaming Starship Troopers on Prime. I just wanted to see if it would work, and yeah, it seems to work just fine. So yeah, I've got the TV up and running, and yeah, a little workhorse running it all. Well, we're moving right along. I've converted it over to kitchen mode and got everything out to fix dinner. Got my TV sitting over here out of the way behind the chair for now. Got my coffee a little bit too hot. Let him sit there and cool just a little bit. But I'm having some pork chops. I got some Worcestershire, and I'm going to saute them up in some, you know, butter Pam. Not real butter, buttered Pam. It's 36 outside right now. 70 in here. But we're headed for about 30 degrees tonight. Something like that. Well below freezing. That's okay though. I've got my windows closed up, got my heat going. And it's very nice and very cozy in here. Well, we are getting close, and the tent is smelling incredibly delicious in here. Got my chops ready to go. Got my garlic parmesan green beans. Got them sauteing in some Pam butter flavor. The meat juice from the pork chops. And just a teeny bit of Worcestershire. That should be some really good stuff right there now. Well, kids, it's my favorite part of the camping trip. Dinner time. That looks pretty good, don't it? Sorry, the light's not that great. Hang on. Let me see if I can fish out a little flashlight. Looks pretty good. The beans turned out really good. I was getting ready to say, yeah, there's some left over in the pan if y'all want some. I got a feeling there ain't gonna be none left. We've got to try this stuff out. Alright. Pork chop's good. Needs a little bit more sauce. A little bit more. You know how pork is. There we go. Now these little critters right here are really good. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is really good. That is insanely good. Okay, the pork chop is good, but those beans are extraordinary. They're really good, very good. Well, good morning. It's been kind of hanging around my little castle all morning. You know, I got up and made me some coffee and a little snack or two, and been watching TV, watching a cartoon. It's animated sci-fi, Invincible. You know, like in the Marvel universe, Wolverine's the only one that gets to tear up his enemies. Everybody does here. It's pretty gory for a cartoon, but yeah. But anyway, I had to be careful. You know, when the sun comes out, I got it 68.7 in here right now. You have to be careful when the sun comes out. You know, hits the tent, the temperature will jump 8-10 degrees. Well, it's about noon, and just kind of hanging out by the fire. I was getting ready to run down and pay for the second night, and you know, went through all my stuff, you know, real quick. Yeah, I'm good, got plenty of this and that and the other and all that, plenty of fuel, food, all that. And happened to check the weather. It's gonna rain in the morning, and guess who didn't bring the rain fly? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Somebody forgot to put the rain fly in the car. Heather. Oh well. Oh well, I guess it's not the end of the world, right? They still got to come out and, you know, camp out in all of this, all alone, with no one else around. I did see some side-by-sides earlier heading up the trail. All I could see was like the tops of the vehicles and like antennas and stuff, but I heard them. They went out through that way. Alright, I guess I need to get off here, unfortunately, and start packing. Yeah, I guess could be worse. Like I said, you know, worst case scenario, I got to come out here and set up all this stuff and have fun and, you know, enjoy it and bring you guys along too. Hopefully y'all had a little bit of fun too. Hopefully y'all enjoying it. Try to do something a little bit different anyway. You know, try. All right, I'm gonna get off here and get back to work, and well, get started, get everything packed up. I got it all in the car to bring it here. I'm sure, I think I can get it all back in there to get back home. We'll see, won't we? All right, yeah, here goes. Jenga. Jenga, professional level. Oh, come on, they were all going crazy. I come out with the camera, and we don't want to talk no more. We're leaving. Probably should have just stuck the camera out the tent. Can't trust crows, can you? Well, I've got a good chunk of it started. Still got more to go. The tent too. The tent's the big piece. I have to do it last and then put it in first and then pack everything else around it. We're getting there though. It's about 45 now. It's hoodie weather, and well, the fire's out and everything is packed up and loaded. I remember I said earlier that it was like a game of Jenga. It's not Jenga, it's Tetris is what I meant to say. Of course, I guess you have to be a certain age to remember Tetris. Got the seat full, back seat's full. You got that trunk's full. Sardines, man. Packed in there like sardines. But there's a couple cool spots on the way down that I saw coming in, which I'd seen them before. Had seen Heather and I was over here, but I'll stop by and show them to you. A couple really cool looking some of the old CCC works. Of course, there's tons and tons of them over here. It's an awesome place to explore. Just kind of wander the old ruins and stuff. From 100 years ago. Wild. Alright, I'm gonna jump in and head on out, and we'll show you some of the place as we go. I'm sure there's probably a couple of you watching the video just to see the campground, Tick Ridge. And this is it. There's the bathrooms and that shed that comes with campsite 1. That one has a fire pit, or a fire shed. Bouncing diesel fuel around a little bit. I imagine back in the day, when in its day, this place was something to see, big fire tower and surrounded by campgrounds all over the place. I bet it was really cool. 50s, 60s. Yeah, I know, I don't have my seatbelt on yet. There's the trails I went out through yesterday. There's one that goes out this way, one up the hill, and one out that way. I went out this one a couple miles. Probably wanted to go up the other two, but I was hoping to get to do them today, but not if it's going to rain. I'm going to have to head on out. I don't have the stuff. But there's a couple spots, like I said, on the way. Well, it's a trail. I'm looking both ways. Anyway, there's a couple spots. One right down here. I've got about 2 miles of this little dirt road to get back down to the main road. But like I said, there's a couple spots similar to that. A pretty old bridge, stuff like that. And we'll end the video back down where we started it at. This little spot here is the road going up to Tick Ridge, up to the campground. And it's also part of the Hatfield-McCoy Trail system. This is, I think it's Trail 11, if I'm not mistaken. It's a green, an easy trail. There's some more. There was a black I noticed right up here, just turned off to the left. So there are some mean trails here too. But yeah, so cool. But it's a really interesting place, because you've got a whole bunch of interesting things that overlap. Here you've got the history, the CCC, all the stuff that they built, this stuff, the old bridges and, just all kinds of stuff. The Hatfield-McCoy Trail system, you've got the state forest, the park. It's got a lot of stuff here. Very interesting place. If you're a trail rider, yeah, it's a great place to come. If you're just wanting to, explore, spend some time out in nature, do some camping, all the above, Those logs. Now, it's like I said, some of them are maintained and some are not. Some of the old stuff, back by the, there's a little playground I took y'all back there on a different video. This place is 8,000 acres. I mean, you can see all kinds. Look at the stonework down there. Just for a drain. Just for a drain. Look at the stonework. But there's 8,000 acres here. And it's a lot more than you could cover in, 2 little overnight camping trips, We have come full circle, back where we started from. Ran into a little bit of information on the way back down. Ran into a state park guy, state park employee in a white truck. And they were going up as I was coming down. And, just stopped for a second, talking out the window, that kind of thing. He was telling me that this right here, this 4-H camp, when I was little, 18 years old, I mentioned that earlier, that I stayed there when I was a little kid, 4-H camp for a week. He was telling me that was the CCC camp, back before it was the 4-H camp. That was where 120 people, 120 men stayed there and, cooked and all this stuff over here and went to work here and cutting stuff out of the wilderness. I mean, can you imagine? That's the trailhead right here for the Hatfield-McCoy trail system for Cabwaylingo. It's right here. Where I went is over here across this little bridge and turn left. And from there, you go by where the cabins are, where the 4-H camp, where the guys stayed. Tick Ridge is 2 miles up that gravel road up there. Now, like I said, this is the trailhead right here. There's a statue of John Henry right there, as a matter of fact. A witch lives here. That's probably made of candy, and if you eat it, she'll get you. I'm pretty sure that's how this works. I know this story. I've heard this one before. I know how this one goes. Don't eat that. It's a trick. Anyway, this one, this is cabin 13. Check that out. How cool does this look? The view over the hill. How cool does this look? I had to park down the bottom of the hill and walk up. It's gated. These will be open, about a month from now? They'll be open. Cabwaylingo, by the way. You might want to write that down. You're probably not going to remember it. Camera works. Look at that. Look at the stonework. There's all kinds of stuff like this around here. All over the place. Just look at that. How pretty is that? Imagine sitting out here on a nice quiet summer evening. There's cabins. The other log cabins are over there. They're in a row. You can see one of them here. There's one. One right there. One there. And there's a few more going up. This one here is a double. It's got 2 big bedrooms in it. I can remember a few years before Mom passed away, I brought her up here and some family, and we stayed over there. Had a lot of fun. Kind of weird though, you come to places like this you thought you knew, all your life, since I was a little kid, 4-H camp, and just kind of get to exploring and looking at things with new eyes. Find all kinds of stuff you didn't even know was there. Guys, I'm out of here. I gotta go home at some point, I suppose. So we'll see y'all next time. Out here somewhere, not sure where, but we'll see you out here somewhere. Y'all have a really good day, and we will see you on the next adventure. Leo out.